In front of everyone, she goes, no, that's the name I'm using. I already told my mom and everyone at work. You can't use it. Anytime we are out, she feels entitled to an invite and will message us privately asking why she wasn't invited. She has even messaged me when I've been out with family asking who I was with and told me she was going to argue with me if I had said some of our friends.
Hello.
Welcome or welcome back.
I'm Erin Bell.
And I'm Kenny Page.
And we are Potty Mouth. My dogs will probably be circulating throughout here because they don't like the air conditioner. So they hide in here so you can see Beanie's butt. That's what this brown lump is. And then Sophie.
Oh, she's rolling.
You'll hear the jingle jangles. It's fine.
She's rolling on the ground. So we have some.
Ooh. She's enjoying that. She is.
We have some Reddit reads. I feel like we haven't done some Reddit stories in a while.
No, it's been
4th of July. The 4th of July one that we did.
Yeah.
That was the last one we did. So, it's been over a month since we actually read them.
Yeah.
But we are coming in hot with some entitled people we're going to read about. All of them are from r/entitledparents or r/entitled. Are you ready?
Yes.
So this first one is from 16 days ago. It is from Brilliant Desk 450. And it is called Entitled Mom Tried to Reserve the Baby Name I've Had Picked Out Since I Was 12. And also don't mind the fan if you can hear it. So, I, 28 female, am 8 months pregnant with my first child. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved the name Eliana. It's unique, feminine, and just always felt special to me. My friends and family have known this forever, even jokingly calling dibs on middle names when I was still in high school. Fast forward, my cousin, 29 female, is also pregnant by surprise and recently announced she's having a girl too. At the baby shower last week, I mentioned that we've officially chosen Eliana as the name. She froze. In front of everyone, she goes, no, that's the name I'm using. I already told my mom and everyone at work. You can't use it. I said, I've had this name picked out since before you even graduated high school. You literally made fun of it in the past. She said, doesn't matter. I'm the first to say it. Now, while we're both pregnant, it's mine. Got dogs.
I know. She threw her ass back in the corner. So the thump was. And Beanie's chewing on her dogs now.
My aunt, her mom, then backed her up saying, just let her have this. You can always pick another name. No, I'm not picking another name for the baby I've waited years for just because my cousin impulsively called dibs. Entitlement level naming rights thief. I told her she can use it too if she wants, but I'm not changing. If we both end up with daughters named Eliana, that's her hill to die on.
Yep. Period.
Yeah.
No, because literally, like, I've always said that. I'm like, look, I mean, for the longest time, okay, don't shame me because now I judge myself for this, but, like, for the longest time it was Penelope. Mm-hmm. And it was going to be Penelope Lou, Penny Lou, whatever. And then over time, I just kind of, like, lost the traction for that, but literally for, like, up until a couple years ago, so, like, over 10 years, I wanted that name. But, like, if somebody else was like, yeah, I'm naming my kid that, I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're matching because
right.
It's been what I've been thinking of for the longest time. Like, no.
And that's so hard, especially, like, if you're stuck with a name, like, since she was 12 and she's stuck with that name, yeah, good for her for, like, loving that name for, like, ever. Alex and I, when we first started dating, we always joked around, like, oh, when we have kids, of course, we were, like, 14 and 15. We had Adriana and James. James is James Lee and Adriana Faith or Adriana Elizabeth, Adriana Page. Like, we had, like, a list of middle names, but those are the names that we had picked out.
Yeah.
Then when it came around to having kids, we were like, I don't really like that. Even though some of them were family names, it just didn't stick.
Yeah.
And we were like, what are we naming this kid now? And I will say, like, when we had our daughter, we had the name Cora picked out, but Cora was so overused by the time we had a girl, but especially by people that I personally knew, and I just didn't feel right using that name, and I was like, ugh. So we didn't go with Cora, and it was even like to the point where like our grandma was like calling her Cora, and I'm like, that's not her name, and she's like, sorry. There's always somebody that I know of or that I've known that has stolen like names from other people, or like, or they judged for that name and then all of a sudden they like that name and then that becomes like something that they like, and I'm like, what? Like, there's several people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, no.
And it's crazy.
Literally.
It's because it's like you have, you literally, you're the one picking a name out for a human being. This name that they will likely have for the rest of their life. Like, it's on their birth certificate. Like, yeah, you can change your name if you want to, but like, it's a lot of pressure. And then like to hear somebody else be like, oh, I want this name, it's like,
the way that I look at it is, man, I don't have kids, but whatever. But like, I've, say I still liked Penelope, and for some reason I had friends that had kids or whatever, and they knew that I liked that name and they chose that name anyways. And I still named my kid. Don't be butthurt. Like, especially like if you have an attachment to that name. Like, for instance, if you guys had another kid, you talked about Bennett or whatever, because Bennett has always been a good choice for a first name or a middle name.
Yeah, we had it as a middle name.
Either or, I'm like, okay, well, if you name your kid that and I still name my kid that, like, I'm not butthurt you did that, and I hope you wouldn't be butthurt if I did that.
Yeah, I personally see it as more of like,
it's a family name.
It's a family name. Like, I literally, I'm not gonna say names, but my great grandpa, he actually changed his middle name. I believe the story goes was when he was enlisted in the army, he didn't know how to spell his middle name. And so he changed his middle name so he actually knew how to spell it. And what's funny is that literally his middle name now has been, his middle name that he changed it to has been down through the family. It was literally my great-grandpa's middle name, my grandpa's middle name, my uncle's middle name, his first name is my cousin's name, and we have it in Big Poot's middle name. He has two middle names. And also, it's on both sides of the family. It's literally throughout the family. So that's how he ended up with two middle names. It's not like generic, but it's like, it's used a lot, but it can be spelled different ways. And also it was, I want to say it was my great-grandma's name or great-great-great-grandma's name, but it was spelled differently.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people also feel obligated to use family names. I personally just felt like it was right. Like, just to keep, like, a name going. And that's why I was like, oh, I want to use this. And it sounded right. But
yeah, like, I think middle names are the perfect opportunity to name them after somebody in your family.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it's like not like they're taking the name, but it's like it's like an honor or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's my theory. Is like basically, if you know that person has had that name and you choose it anyways, but then they decide to still name their kid that because it's been on their list, or whatever. No one's entitled to anything,
right?
But I do think it's like, I think it's kind of like rude.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, oh, I know you've had this name, but like I got pregnant first, so I'm naming them that because, well, I got pregnant first.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely, like, that's like the pettiness is like, it's dumb. And now, like, later down the road, them as cousins might be like, they might love it. They might be like, oh, we share a middle name. Like, that's cool. Like I said, literally cousins in my family share the same middle name. It's, like, I just see it, like I said, like, as a family name. And there are comments. My husband's family has 4 cousins named Michael. It happens. And it's okay. She doesn't get dibs on it. I have the same name as a cousin by marriage and my brother's wife. My son has a similar name to 2 of his cousins and the same as my ex's sister-in-law's stepdaughter. What?
That's a lot.
None of those were intentional. We managed just fine. LOL. My family has 4 Michaels, 3 Davids, and a slew of Johns.
Jameson's.
No, Jameses, and Edwards. Duplicate names happen. Your cousin can get bent. Which also, those are such common names, like Michael, David, John, Matthew.
There's not an original
James.
person in that family.
There's literally no. And so, like, I feel like that's also, like, our generation. There's people that come up with names that aren't even names.
Well, that's why people are like, oh my god, you're so, like, your generation's so weird. You guys have such weird names. I was like, well, I'm sorry I don't have 15 Michaels in my family. Like, sue
right.
me.
I see a lot of posts about, like, tragedies, like, name tragedies, where people use vintage names, but then they essentially misspell it. Like, Lindsay, for example, is typically Lindsey or Say or Linsey. That sort. And now people spell it like Lindseigh. Like, they try to...
Like sleigh bells?
Yeah. Like,
no.
Like Everly was very popular for a long time.
Well, that one I could see as sleigh.
Yeah.
You know, Leigh.
Yeah.
Like, that makes sense.
Yeah, but there's, like, I feel like there's select few names that can do, like, sleigh, like the EIGH. But there's just some of them out there that just shouldn't, like, every other letter shouldn't be replaced with some sort of up-to-date, like, spelling, like,
this is why
trendy
English
looking.
is the hardest language to learn, because we be it up. Like, why are we doing this to ourselves?
I don't know. There's just some names that I feel like were made up, and then people thought that it was trendy, and now people are naming their kids that, or like some people using boy names for their girls. That was a hot trend for a while.
Well, it's funny because Alex and Aaron are both such unisex names.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, Alex isn't Alexander. It's just Alex. Which was funny to me when we started dating.
Alexander would be gross. I'm sorry.
When we first started dating, I was like, oh, so is your full name, like, Alexander? He's like, no. And I was like, sorry, because I graduated with Alexanders. So I thought, like, oh, is Alexander? I was like, that's a first. I've never heard of, like...
My mom was straight to the point.
Yeah, just straight. She didn't feel like...
Because at the time, I can't remember... Like, she had it, like, they had different names for me or whatever, and I think Celeste, was that one of them? I can't remember. I don't know. I wasn't there for that part.
I have the list of baby names that my mom was going to name both my brother and I, and some of them were funny. This was another thing. I just saw this. My granddad's brother died in the Second World War. All of the siblings named their eldest son after him. Even today, there's like 6 people with the same first name and plenty with the same surname, too. I have seen so often. I went down a rabbit hole at one point in time of looking at my ancestors on, like, Find a Grave. And I would, like, go down a rabbit hole of, like, probably 100 to 200 years ago of... relatives, like great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents having multiple kids, because back then, they, like, 8 kids was normal. Because women didn't work. They were homemakers. They had kids. That was their job. And I believe there were a couple that I did find that I thought was kind of strange, that if they had an infant that died, like, right away, the next child that they had the same name as that child. And I was like, that's weird. But there were multiple family members that did that, and I was like, is that normal? Like, that would just be kind of weird, like, being like naming your kid, like, Frederick. That was what was another? Elvira, Frederick. Like, those were a lot of names that I feel like I saw, and it was, like, kind of weird, because it's like they died, like, 1 day old, and then 9 years later they had another boy with the same first name but different middle name. But it would be the same first name as their sibling. I feel like that was probably their way of, like, doing a tribute to them, but like that's just like nowadays I feel like that would be kind of weird. Like be like, yeah, I had two sons named Jeremiah. One's alive, one's dead. Like it's just kind of like I feel like having the middle name, like Lil Stink has a middle name of an aunt that had passed away. I feel like that's a little bit different than like a sibling having literally the same name. Which, I mean, like I said, it must have been popular because I saw it, like I said, the rabbit hole that I went down. I saw it so many times. And, or a lot of like juniors weren't actually like, essentially you'd be like, oh, your name's Fred, your dad's name's Fred, you must be a junior, but they had different middle names, so they weren't technically a junior. Like, one was Fred and one was Freddie, but they weren't a junior because they didn't have the same middle name. I'm like, that's just, I want to say it's strange. It was popular back then, I guess. I don't know. I have 30 cousins and 52 second cousins. Of the 52 second cousins, there are 15 Michaels, either as a first or second name, and 5 Emilys. I think their family won't implode if there's more than one kid's name with the same name. Yeah. All the males on my mom's side have the same name, either as first or middle name. If their identity isn't sufficiently clear from the context, we add the name of their primary female relation. An example, Jenny's Thomas has been in the hospital again. In Greek culture, the first son is always named after the grandfather. We have a lot of John and Peter in our family. This whole argument sounds kind of silly to me to be reserving names. Like they said with Greek, like different cultures too.
Yeah. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with having the same name, but you can't get butthurt if you literally take someone else's name and then you go, yep, I'm using this one.
Right.
And then you get mad because then they want to use their original name still.
Right.
Like, it's not a physical thing. You can't just take it and then not use it. Like,
it's crazy. It's crazy how, like, things like that have evolved.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, with, like, the names and stuff. That's,
it's
like,
the entitlement.
Yeah. 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 Here's one that says, as my mom was lying in the hospital room chatting with the laboring mom beside her, they discussed names they had chosen, both girls being born on the same day, same hospital, same neighborhood. We would have attended the same schools and temple. The other girl was born first, and my mother just about lost it when the woman used what my mother selected for my name, first and middle. She picked another set of names, probably a backup, I guess, and honestly, I prefer it over what I would have been called if I arrived 90 minutes sooner. But yeah, I'm planning on not telling anyone my kid's name until it's officially on their birth forms. People are crazy. That one's crazy. I feel like that's a whole different...
She literally was like, you know what? That sounds really good. I love that
Literally
name.
being in the same room as somebody and just hearing them be like, oh, yay! Here's my Ashley Louise! And then be like...
what?
I would be like, nope, get her out of here.
Getting these hands. I don't care if you just had your baby.
That's like a birth swap thing. Like, swap these children. That's my name. That's what happened when I was born, but the other baby was a boy. We were born within 2 hours of each other and both have identical names, phonetically different spellings. For a few years in middle school, we were in the same school and it was fun. But people should totally keep the names to themselves. There shouldn't be a public forum to judge the name and no one can bully you about it. That's kind of why I also hid my pregnancy with Lil Stink, because I was like, I didn't want to be bugged about names. I didn't want to be bugged about from entitled people. As going through the first pregnancy, we had a few of those. And then I didn't tell anybody a name. And I feel like there were people, I wouldn't necessarily say some of them were entitled. They just wanted to know because they were relatives. But that's also, like, it was fun kind of hiding the name. And those who knew, knew. Those who, because at the baby shower, I literally had her name on a little disc. And those who saw, they found out that we were having a girl. And like I said, those who saw the little name disc knew her name. And there were still people like afterwards. Like my dad, I'm pretty sure.
I
No,
don't.
it was my
I don't know
grandma.
if I saw it. I can't remember if I saw it.
I'm pretty sure that I told you her name though.
I knew you were hinting towards it because you had like a sign that you painted,
Mm-hmm.
and it had the first and last one that was left, but the rest of it was blocked out.
Yeah.
I was like,
I did
and
the same
that's why
thing
I
to my
thought
mom.
that's why I thought it was the first name you guys chose because it's so.
Yeah. I did the same thing to my mom because I literally used like I did like a little like scavenger hunt, so to speak, for my mom. I was like, "Oh, it's this name. We're not going with this name, but we have a name picked out, and it's a character off of this show, but it's not a main character, so you're gonna have to dig." So it was actually like, it was funny because there was there was a deeper connection than what we actually made it out to be, because her name is actually a character off of my grandpa's favorite TV show. And her middle name was my grandpa's daughter. So it was like, which I didn't know that it was a character off of that until I literally looked it up. I think I saw like something on it, like this person died, or like somebody be like, "Oh, do you remember this person from this? They played as the character as this on this show," and I was like, "What?" So I thought it was really cool because she wasn't born yet, and I was like, so there's even a deeper meaning than what we were going for, because her first name didn't have a meaning, and then it ended up having like a deep inside meaning, so to speak. Our next one is also from r/entitled people. It's from Spooderman. Spooderman says, entitled friend feels she deserves to be invited to my birthday as our other friends are going. For my birthday, I plan to go to a driving range with some friends. The driving range in question allows 6 people to play in a bay, but 8 people can attend. As a result, I invited 4 of my closest friends and my girlfriend. While out of the 2 of these friends, I invited our other friend to tag along and explained that they couldn't play. He was fine with this as he isn't the sporty type, but I didn't plan on inviting an 8th person as I'd feel bad explaining that they could come but wouldn't be able to play. However, when one of my friends I hardly speak to found out about the driving range, she got one of my friends invited to message me saying she doesn't mind not playing. I don't talk to this friend often. The last time we spoke was her asking me for car help, then getting annoyed when I couldn't get ready by 10 p.m. to try to sort an issue with her car when I'm not a mechanic and was working the next day. There's a red flag there before this is even over.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime we are out, she feels entitled to an invite and will message us privately asking why she wasn't invited. She has even messaged me when I've been out with family asking who I was with and told me she was going to argue with me if I had said some of our friends. The first comment was deleted, and everybody's saying that this is the only and correct answer. I wish that comment would be still there, but it's deleted because there's lots and lots and lots of comments replied back to that. This isn't elementary school. You don't have to invite the whole class. I invited my closest friends. That's all. That would be like the most pettiest but like satisfying thing to say about that.
Yeah.
Depending on if you want to take that road of pettiness. Sometimes I feel like that's almost the only way to resolve some problems. So you barely talk, and if you do, she wants something from you. Why do you even call her a friend to begin with? This sounds like more of an acquaintance. We were good friends in high school, so I considered her an old friend, but now I barely consider her an acquaintance. Let me guess, she pops up expecting to use her childhood besties card only when she wants something. Time to grow a back and tell them how it is. It's the only way out because it seems like you don't really like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's strange behavior. Good luck with that and happy belated birthday.
Yeah, I don't That's kind of wild to be like, why wasn't I invited? I don't know.
I I feel like it would be like one thing because I don't know. I've been in this situation before, and it's just kind of like I get both ends if they were close. If they were close, I would understand it being like kind of like, oh, I wish I was invited. Like, oh, that looks fun.
Yeah.
But also you don't like going out of your way to literally be like, why wasn't I invited? Where's my invitation? And messaging other people that wasn't the person who made the plans. That's wild. Like, it just
That, yeah. The audacity is what it
yeah.
feels like. Because it's like are they that delusional that they think that they're closer than they are, or they think the title of, oh, we were best friends when we were kids holds anything?
Yeah.
Because I've got best friends from when I was a kid. I don't even talk to them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, like I feel like there's times, like obviously I have friend like Natalie lives in a different state. There's times where I'm doing stuff that I'm like, oh, Natalie would love to do this. I remember doing this with Natalie. I feel bad that I can't invite her, but obviously like I don't
that's a distance thing.
Yeah, but there's still like I'll tell her like, oh, we're having a birthday party, or we talked about going to a concert. Like there's stuff like that where I'm like, I know that this is far fetched, but I still want to extend the invite, even though I don't like I don't think that she would be able to do it.
Yeah,
Like
that's yeah.
I still think of them, but then like I just feel like they're not entitled though. Like they don't be like, oh, where is my invite? Like really. And I feel like that's also so hard with the kids' birthdays. It's like Big Stink starts school this year, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to invite his friends to his birthday party, or he'll have friends that he wants to invite to the birthday party next year, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all in the fact of like finding out who I would really like to invite and like who I would like to become friends with, like the parents wise, which I also feel like is gonna be kind of hard because I am a younger mom, and I already know of at least one person whose child is going into kindergarten, and they are like 10 years older than me. So it's like, but also I believe that it's their youngest child rather than like their first child, like me. But I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Like I've seen so many people, or an example, I've been invited to do stuff and then end up not being re-invited. Like they'll tell me months in advance of something, and I was like, oh, that sounds like so much fun. And they're like, oh, you should come. Like we should we'll all do this. And then they'll go and do it, but I'm not invited. I feel like it was acceptable for me to feel kind of like left out in that sense. I feel like that's also different. Like I said, rather than literally being like, where's my invite, when they weren't invited at all.
Mm-hmm. Man.
But also that kind of like, I'm glad that there's also better context of like them doing this stuff before, because it could be a situation of them thinking that they were closer friends with this person than
They are.
they are. Which like I've been in that situation with some people, and then I'm not getting into that, but people are saying just block her, don't respond. Seems like kind of she seems kind of desperate to get an invite. This person is not your friend and has no entitlement to join you. Block her and move on. I feel like it's so much harder to just I feel like it's hard to just block people and move on if you actually had that kind of relationship at one point.
Yeah.
Granted, they said that they're out of school, that they used to be friends and they like moved on. I feel like unadding rather than blocking would be a good
Sometimes for me though, blocking works because I've had a couple friends
just to cut
that
off.
I've had to completely block because they just needs to be cut off completely because I don't need any type of message request or this or that or whatever.
That's fair. See, I'm more afraid of, like, the outside. Like, it's something that's inner that's bigger than the outer scenario. So then I just have to ignore it so it doesn't become somebody else's problem. Because then I feel like that becomes, like, then other people will have problems with me if they go and tell, like, the other friends within the group. Like,
I don't care. Nah, I'm in my I don't give a era because I am tired of letting people say things or like do whatever they want or like feel like they can without there being consequences.
That's fair.
Like, I love very hard. I care very deeply for the people that I care about.
Mm-hmm.
But once you cross that threshold, that's why, I mean, not that I hate them, but like that's why there's that threshold of, like, they say, like, the spot between loving and hating is so thin. Because you think about all the dumb shit your husband does and how much you put up with because you love them and you care about them.
Right.
But then the minute that love turns to hate, every single thing that annoyed you before, you're like, oh, this. Like, it turns from one extreme to the next so easily. That's why, like, I feel like if you fight with a friend and then everything, like, that maybe they've done wrong or that they've upset you about, like, I feel like it turns from, like, oh, I love you, it's okay, like, we'll work on it, and then they cross the line completely and there's no going back. Then you're like, yeah, and all these other times you did all this shit and that was fucked up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, she just doesn't seem like she's in the right place.
Yeah.
Like, it's not coming from a good place of, like, hey girl, like, why am I not involved?
It's I feel like she just from, like, the feel of, like, the replies and stuff, it feels like she's one of those people that she thinks that everyone's her friend and that everybody likes her and that she's higher up on a pedestal than everyone. And obviously, an entitlement. Like,
I hate those kind of.
Yeah,
I know a couple of those in my life. Well, not my life, but I know a couple.
Same. And I don't know. That's what because I also feel like that also comes in, it kind of ties into the, like, if their friends are invited and then you feel entitled to going because your friends are invited, even though it's and then that also brings in the fact of, like, are they the type of the person that would be invited and then they're like, oh, I'm going to this, so their friend, usually when you're in that, if you're like that and you're in a friend group, those friends are usually like you, like, they have, like, the chain, like, I was invited to this, let me bring this person, and then this person's like, oh, I'm going to this, and then they'll have another person, and it'll be like,
no, that's why I don't like doing that. That's why, like, with the wedding, I was like, no plus ones, in the sense of, like, if you don't bring a bunch of random.
Yeah.
Because I just don't like the idea of, like, I mean, that's, like, where that wedding came. Like, I didn't like the idea of being like, yep, let me just pay for all the alcohol and the food and everything else for people I don't know. My mother, watch out, boob, coming for you. Mm-hmm. She invited people that I didn't know, okay? Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, okay, like, I'm not really too happy about this because my mom has a tendency to invite a bunch of random people I don't know. Right. Or that, like, you guys don't know, and she does that all the time, and I'm like, girlie, like, this is not your party. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, one of the families that my mom invited to my wedding, and it's funny because, like, watching my wedding video back, I can see Tina, like, recording, and I was like, homegirl, missed the sign, but it's okay. But no, but, like, she was like, seeing them now, I'm like, I didn't know who they were. That was the first time meeting them. And I'm like, it was just, like, it felt so weird because I'm like, she's recording my wedding, but she doesn't know me. But now, like, I really like them. Like, mm-hmm. Tina, I love them. That family. We went on a cruise together, like, the honeymoon cruise. It was, I don't think it was it Masonic cruise? I can't remember what it was. I don't think that one was. But it was a lot of fun, and I really like them now. Like, I invite them to my parties and stuff. Mm-hmm. But, like, that whole thing of, like, let me invite my person, and I'm like, no, because there was, like, this one lady my mom was wanting to invite, and because they were friends, I don't think they're friends now because that lady's not very nice, and I was like, you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, no, because she was, like, shaming my mom, and, like, just the way that her attitude was, I was like, no, I don't like her, she's not coming to my wedding, like, we're not friends, no. Like, sometimes you have to draw the line, because if not, people will walk all over you, and then they think they can keep doing it. And, like, that's why I'm like, you have to be really firm on boundaries, because even if people don't mean to and they keep doing it unintentionally, because sometimes that does happen because it comes
Like
routine.
recently.
Yeah, because it comes routinely. So then you have to be like, hey, girl, like, this, like, I really don't like it when this happens. Let's just change it. Because sometimes they're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I didn't even realize, you know? Because,
Yeah.
like,
I feel like it's also different because I feel like 9 times out of 10, things like that happen when there's alcohol involved. So in the moment, they don't see it going on until afterwards, or that group doesn't see it going on, but the person, like, say, like, a group
I did.
I did.
No. I don't
Ugh.
know.
I
That's
still
why I'm so weird. I'm so weird about alcohol. I'm so weird about having a bunch of people over I don't know. Like, if I'm meeting you for the first time at my house, I promise I'm not going to be very happy. Because, like, the one time Jarrett woke me up, and I told you this,
Oh yeah.
but obviously the viewers don't know the tea. But the one time I literally woke up, and Jarrett's like, yeah, by the way, so and so is here. And I'm like,
Did you ask me?
did we not have this conversation about how I felt, like, not comfortable anymore with this? And don't go hate on my husband. It's not like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm not like, this kid just annoyed me, right? That's all it is. And, like, I'm like, if I tell you a boundary and as a guest you don't, like, respect that, because I'm not being like, bow down and kiss my ass. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just, my dogs, they don't fuck with new people,
Yeah.
which is a good thing because they protect us. Like, Sophia is so protective. But anyways, but, like, you can't just go up and reach to a dog that they don't know you.
Right.
That should be a general rule with all dogs.
Yeah.
Like, you don't
Feel
just
like-
reach for a dog and be like, and then if they bite, and granted, my dogs have never bitten anybody, but it's like, if they bit you, or if a dog bit you that you didn't know, hello.
Yeah.
But, like, you have to listen to boundaries. And I was like, I was so mad. No.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, it recently happened with me. I'm not gonna label the situation because of how fresh it was, and I don't feel like actually calling people out, even though I have discussed this with Alex.
I will.
What?
I'll do it. I don't care.
It went over with Alex already, and I tried de-escalating the problem before it even happened, and then it still happened, even though because
it's the group of people.
Yeah, I unfortunately, and then it happened. I wouldn't say exactly what happened. Wasn't exactly like what I expected to happen, but in a case it was along the same lines of that shouldn't have happened, or that just rubbed me the wrong way, and it did, and it was brought to my attention. Like, I just honestly, I feel like I would have enjoyed my time much more if I didn't have to keep an eye on certain
if they weren't
people,
there.
certain things. Yeah, I feel like
Call it as it is, Kendall. Don't be afraid.
I feel like if I wasn't able to enjoy my time as much as it should have been enjoyed in the past. Granted, there were some people who weren't there, that were there in the past, that made it a little bit more enjoyable, but then I also had different people there this year that made it enjoyable still. But I almost felt bad for my friends that I had invited, because I was so focused on both them, but also being annoyed.
Yeah, if people are infamous for doing dumb things, especially when alcohol's involved, yeah, I would be cautious too. And that's why I said, like, your home, my home, where like the place that you live, whatever, that is your safe space.
Yeah.
And when you've got yahoos coming up in there and, like, disrupting that peace, I don't mess with that. Like, I shouldn't wake up and be like, oh, someone's at my house that I don't really like them,
Right.
or they just, like, irritate me, or whatever it is. Like, I shouldn't wake up to that. This is my house. This is my safe space. No.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
No. And like I said, I'm on my I don't give a fuck path of that, because, like, I just think it's so important to respect your boundaries before you respect anyone else's. I don't care. I mean, I don't want to hurt feelings. But if it comes to protecting myself or you, sorry, girl, I got to protect this before I can protect anybody else. Because if I'm f***ed up, you're definitely f***ed up.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Anywhoosies, that little rant out there. It's fine. I have one more for entitled people, and
We were probably busting time on this anyway, so it
it's
works
from
out.
Pascal73. Friend who hadn't talked to me in 2 years wanted a favor.
Bruh. Off.
Alright, so friend who I hadn't talked to in 2 years wanted a favor. Years back, I worked in an office with Doris.
Doris.
We became good friends, and then after 10 years of friendship, she completely ghosted me. She had long since moved to another company, so I didn't see her at work. To this day, I am not sure why. I reached out to her a couple of times over the next 6 months and never heard back from her. So I figured she had a reason and just moved on with my life. About 2 years later, I get an email from Doris. That's strange. An email? Like, is it the only contact that they had was, like, their work email?
Her name's
or something?
Doris.
They put Doris, like it's a code name.
I was
Doris.
like, that's just old. Of course she's emailing your ass.
No, Doris. Out of the blue, asking if I would put in a good word for Doris's former boss, Lisa, who was laid off from her job. As was Doris, their company had relocated out of state. At my company. My company had posted a position. Lisa applied and was called in for an interview with my boss. Doris had the nerve to ask me to talk Lisa up to my boss because Lisa really needed the job and was a single mother with kids to support, and so on. Now, Doris had told me a lot about Lisa. Not a lot of it was good. While she liked Lisa personally, Doris did not speak highly of Lisa professionally and had a number of stories of Lisa's questionable behavior to back it up. I'd only met Lisa at Doris's bridal shower and wedding, so I didn't even really know her at all. That alone would be enough to make me balk at recommending her for anything, since I'm not putting my name on the line for anyone I really don't know and really don't have a favorable impression of anyway. Imagine not speaking to someone for 2 years and then reaching out because you need a favor. Part of me wanted to ignore the email entirely, but I did end up responding very vaguely with something along the lines of, "Sure, I'll talk to boss." She responded, "Thanks."
I would be like to my boss, like, yeah, this don't hire her.
I've heard
if she's actually heard bad things about her, and she said it was her company, or just the word, or she just who she works for.
Yeah, it was for who she works for.
I'd be like, look, I've heard bad things about her actually, so I would just straight up cancel that.
Yeah,
because we've had that before at my job, and they're like, yeah, so and so, and I was like, just be careful, because I like this one kid. I was like, watch out, because that whole family's a damn mess.
Yeah.
The whole family. And that kid, that person was involved too. And I was like, nope. I was like, you need to watch out, because I'm telling you right now, shady. Guess what? Gets fired.
Yeah.
Shocking. I'm like, I mean, I don't blame them for taking me at my word completely, because, like, whatever. The easiest way to do that is I would not even respond. I would block the contact, because, like, you freaking ghosted me and now you want me to do you a favor. I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's just so, entitled.
Maybe I'm petty, I don't know. But
no, I feel like it's the same way with, like with friendships. Like, you feel like you're close with somebody and then you're not. And you do so much for this person, or you feel like you do so much, and then you see the other friends not doing all that much, or, like, whatever, and you're like, okay, whatever. So you back off. Then all of a sudden, that person wants something from you because it's, like, something that you do or something they know that you're good at, but they weren't, or, like, it's something that they weren't interested in at the time, like, if you're telling them about it, and they're just like, okay. And then, like, once they want it for free. Or they want you to just do it for them because they're a relative or a friend. They think that, like, with small business, they're like, oh, can I get a discount? And then I'm like,
you know how many things I bought off of you for full price?
Or I'm like,
Not that I ever expect a discount, but like I would never expect, because like a small business, I would never be like, yeah, discount. F you.
Yeah.
No.
I always feel bad for like
Yes,
pricing
you're not
stuff.
Walmart. What do you mean? You're hand making this.
You and your 83 pens. It's fine. Or earrings.
Earrings, pens, keychains. I still have my self-defense
fine.
one I never used. It's just sitting there chilling.
I mean,
It's cute, but I've
Yeah.
never used it.
there's one more little paragraph from this. I didn't say a single word to my boss. Knowing him and knowing about Lisa, I was reasonably sure he wouldn't see her as a good fit. She came in for an interview a couple of days later, and the interview was over quickly. So I knew my suspicions were correct. Never saw Lisa or heard from Doris again. Wow. There are some people who like to use other people to get what they want. Even your own family members do it. I have come to the point to where I don't want to help anyone anymore. Glad you didn't put in a good word for Lisa. Doris is probably going to try and reach out again if she needs something. Just ghost her like she did you. Reply to the message in 2 years. That'd be funny. Set up a scheduled send for 2 years out saying, sorry, I only just saw this and worked out who it was. Did it work out? Though P said these are awesome. We'll use them next time Doris pops up. Yeah, and our little 2 cents of entitled people we know or we have known our own personal experiences. Do you know any entitled people? How do you feel about these entitled people? Are you an entitled person? Let us know in the comments.
Are you a
Say hello, Sophie.
Say hi, I have anxiety problems, so I come up here because I don't like the air conditioner, so I have to be upstairs with my mom. Thanks. Subscribe.
Subscribe for Sophie.
Subscribe for Sophie. And she won't
For
be
Sophia.
sad anymore because you can put food on our table
Yeah.
so I can feed my dogs. I'm kidding.
More French fries to steal. It's fine. She looked like French fries.
a French fry.
Alright, well, that's all we have for today's episode. Some entitled people. Getting it back into the, hello. Getting back into some more Reddit reads. We wanted to break it up a little bit with other
Fun
stuff.
things.
Just fun stuff. It is currently 11 p.m., so I'm kind of like,
It's 11?
Yeah, it's 11.
When did we start filming?
I don't know. I think it was like 10. I
Bruh.
think we're a little over an hour. But we have some cutting out to do. But so, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, if you like listening to some Reddit reads. But that's all we have for today.
Sly.
So,
We'll see you in the next one.
yeah. Bye.
Bye.